The weather's crap. There's no cement in the country, but it's Monday. It's 7 o'clock and we're live with Ask the Plasterer with me, Eric the Plasterer, coming to you live from a fish tank near Chesington. Good evening, people. Welcome to Ask the Plasterer. For those of you that don't know, I'm Eric the Plasterer. I'm a plasterer from South London. I've been plastering for 36 years. And I'm here to answer your questions. The usual guys come along this evening. Other plasterers. There's newbie plasterers. There's time-served plasterers. There are DIYers. There's me. And a host of other people just coming along. Possibly to ask questions. Could be customers. But that's what tonight is all about. It's every other Monday. But if it's not, I'll let you know otherwise at 7 o'clock. So, yeah, welcome along. You'll be able to chat to me by typing your stuff on the screen in a minute. There'll also be a phone number. If you're brave enough to ring, you can ring in with any questions or just for a chat. Okie dokie. Hey, here we go. Diddy-da, good evening, mate. Nice to see you. Nice to see you on the ball tonight. There, on the ball, we're ready to go. Ah dear, I've been twiddling about with me backgrounds, as you might have noticed. Might get a bit fuzzy now and again, but other than that, we should be good. We should be good. Yeah, what I was going to do is ask anybody from a plastering perspective if anyone knows why on earth there's no cement anywhere. What the reason is for that? I could have understood it if there wasn't any just after the lockdown, the first one. But, you know, I have no idea what's happening. Hi, Swayze. Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you. Pop over to here for a little while. Hey. More fish. More fish. I thought it'd make a change to just put something a bit different in the background. Ooh. Other than just me plastering videos and adverts for stuff. Jordan, evening, Jordan. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Welcome along. We'll have a good old chat this evening, and maybe get some new people coming along. See what they got any questions they want to ask about plastering. Ha ha ha. See if there's any I haven't answered before. That's why I'm here. Oh, yes. Oh, dear. And, yeah, the weather's not up to much, guys, either, is it? At the minute. They've been bucketed down not that long ago. What's happened to the sunshine? When's that meant to be kicking in? Hi, Toby. Nice to see you, mate. Welcome along. Welcome along. So, any questions you got tonight? Yeah. Whoa. Oh, diggity. What insurance do you use for domestic work? I've got my public liability insurance with Direct Line. It's the usual sort of, say, basic cover. It covers you for like doing any kind of major damage in someone's house. Again, the basics is it covers you for about £1 million and it's about £75 a year. How easy it is to claim if you did £1 million worth of damage in someone's house. For your £75, I don't know, but that is kosher cover, and I find there's probably other deals you can get out there, but I'm with Direct Line and find it pretty good. I say it's about £75 that covers you for for damage. The reason it's quite cheap is because as plasterers, we're only messing about with water at the end of the day, and that's only really for mixing up our gear. Whereas if you're a plumber, that's a different story, the water side of that, because you can completely flood someone's house out if something goes wrong insurance-wise. And if you're like a log burner fitter, that public liability's got to cover you for burning people's houses down or or possibly gassing them. So so that's more expensive. But for us plasterers, we're very lucky. Get £1 million worth of cover for about £75. Slightly cheaper, slightly more expensive, but that's who I use, mate. You can have a little shop around. But yeah, public liability for plasterers is fairly cheap. If you want to start insuring yourself to cover your tools all getting nicked out of your motor, or from your garage or whatever, then of course that's quite a big addition to that. But I'm generally not covered for that on my public liability. It's just covering me for, I mean, they send you all the bump through exactly what you are covered for, and you're daft not to have it. And also, I mean, on your ads, on your cards, on your website, if you've got a website, you can put on there that you're covered, and with your public liability insurance, because people do like to know that as well. Oh dear. Let's pop away from the fishies for a minute. There we go. Aha. If I can see these. These glasses are kind of like halfway glasses. Like if I put them on to see clearly the screen, I've got to go about there, which ain't great. And if I take them off, I need to be further back here, but I don't want to go back too far to be able to see what I'm doing. Oh dear. What do you guys think of my extra time, Easy Mix extra time advert? Have you seen it? It's the one on the left. Obviously tonight there's no sound on it, but it's on the channel if you haven't seen it already. Jordan, how did you find the red stickers, mate? Oh, mate, the red stickers were fantastic. They did the job. I mean, that because I had to do that. I was doing a staircase, and the rails, the handrail, that was going back on. I'm not putting it back on. The customer's going to put it back on when they've done the decorating. But when I started plastering over all those dots, I thought, well, if these things don't work, I'm going to be really scuppered, because the guy will say, he wants the holes back where they were before, and it would kind of be down to me. But when I got there initially, he had left all the screws in the wall sticking out about, and then they were like 3 inches as well, and there was 3 in each sort of set. And I thought, there's no way I want to take a speed skim around those or above them and then below them and then trying to mess about in between. So the red dots were absolutely fantastic. I did manage to, because I ran a little bit short, cut a few of them in half. I think one point into quarters that don't work quite as well when you cut them and make them little. But yeah, I did say to the guy, "Hey, look," the company. I said, "Yeah, I've done a video with your red dots in, so if you want to send some freebies my way, that'd be nice." And I did get a reply straight away, actually, and he said, "Yeah, no problem. But I haven't seen anything yet, so I'll send them a little reminder because they're good. But if I can get some free ones before I have to start paying for them, that would be good. That would be good." Dear. But yeah, definitely a game changer. I do like them. And yeah, also on that job there was a rad on the upstairs in the hallway, and to be able to put the little dots over the screws and just take the screws out and go over it. Oh, this is such a pleasure. I mean, there is another technique where you can just pop the screws in a little bit, skim over those, and use a little strong round magnet, which I've seen other people do. I got a magnet once, but I don't think it was that powerful. And then I think, well, if I do cover a screw too much and they're too deep and I can't find them with my magnet, I'll be scuppered. But at least these red things, I'm thinking they will bleed. The red things will probably bleed through any paint as well, because in the advert for them, they do tend to be like for marking things out as well, like or you want to cut a hole in the ceiling where a downlight is going to go, and you stick the red dot in the middle. So when you skimmed over, you still know where the hole is to cut your hole out for your downlighter. So there is a possibility. I won't know till the guy rings me and says there's a red dot coming through his paint. But where I've got them on the banisters, that should be well covering up the red dots marks. So it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, the red dots, it did take a little while, not as long as I thought they would, but I covered them up, and then I'm kind of like, yeah, I've gone over, I've took my speed skim across, can't see nothing. As at that point also that I was a bit worried. And then I didn't time it, but once I'd gone over the whole thing with my speed skim and I was getting ready to put a second coat on, that's when I could see them starting to bleed through. And obviously the more time that goes by, that they bleed through more. And then when the plaster is actually properly dry, you can't miss them. You might be able to glance them. I didn't specifically take a video of them afterwards, but they are in one of the shots. Might be on one of the videos I've got on tonight at the end, where you can see how sort of bright the dots are. But they work. That's all I cared about. But they're definitely a game changer. Yeah, when they were mentioned, I think was it you that put them up on the site, Jordan? I can't remember. And the picture and whatever. And I thought, I don't know if that'd be any good, but so I might do an advert for them if they promise me some goodies. Dear, who knows? And that's as well in that bottom video there when I was putting down the roll and stroll on the. Hi JT, you gone self-employed yet, mate? I was putting that roll and stroll down on the stairs. It's normally when you are pushing it down the front, it can get awkward when you're trying to pull it off that roll at the same time. But in that video there, I was using the base of a steam stripper handle to just squash it down nice and tight against the front of the stair tread, which was good, which was handy. Through paint as well. Yeah, Jordan, I thought that would bleed through paint as well. That's why I'll have to be careful where I put them. But I say if you're doing radiators, something like that, then that's not too much of an issue. Yes, mate. Yeah, Jordan. Yeah, it was you that posted them up on the site a few weeks ago, mate, wasn't it? They're well worth the money. Absolutely. So, as you say, it'd be nice to get them for free, or if they were a little bit cheaper, because they, I think if you're just doing the odd radiator, they work out quite well. If you suddenly are doing like I was, a whole banister down a staircase, I did literally have to cut the last one into 4 to have enough to finish off because there was 3 screws in each thing. But normally I don't think you would get through them that quickly, would you? But I try to avoid people that have got loads of brackets and stuff on walls and have left screws everywhere if I can help it. Oh dear. Not got self-employed yet. Okay, mate. Looking for a van though. Vans. Any kind of vans are. I think that's why I use. I always use like a 4-wheel drive type Jeep. Not Jeep. I've got like a Freelander that I use, and prior to that, I used to use estate cars. As soon as you start getting into vans, and depending how and when you buy them as well, there's like VAT and stuff on vans and lots of other extra goodies you've got to pay when it comes to insurance and stuff. But my first van was it was an old banger and it only had half an engine in it. It was about 25 quid, but needed the head putting back on. I mean, we're talking about when I was about 23, 24. And I got that going and used that for a few years. My dad wrote me plastering thing on the side. I was well chuffed. I felt a proper self-employed geezer with a little van, little green van, had me tools, me big trowel, me big org. Didn't have a whisk then, but it was good. It was good to go out and think, I'm self-employed now. No more of these bosses having a moan at you about different stuff. But getting a motor. Just want something that's half decent. Because if you buy something that's too much of an old banger, and it just gives you nothing but grief, especially if you're on your way to a job and it conks out. That's got a headache you can do without. Absolutely. Right. What was I talking about? Talking about dots and stuff, weren't we? The dots bleeding through paintwork. I suppose you just got to be careful where you are using them. If you're using them for rad brackets, then that's not going to be a problem, is it? And as I say, when the staircase brackets are going back on for the banister on the job I was on, shouldn't cause an issue. Well, I hope they don't. Dear, but yeah, I suppose most places where you're gonna need a hole for a screw, it should be being covered up with some kind of bracket or something, shouldn't it, or a shelf or whatever the customer's left the screws in for. Oh, speaking of which, a job I did today, managed to get home in time to actually have a shower this Monday, was I had to bond and skim a ceiling and the bay, and when I got there, it had all the sofas, both the sofas in it. I whacked up I don't know why I bothered actually, I think I was just messing about with my camera. I put up a short video of me putting some plastic down in the job, but there's a couple of sofas in there and a TV as well, great big flat screen TV, until the guy took that out. But it's one of those houses that's quite small, and the doorway, I don't know how they got their furniture in there in the first place. If they got it out of the door, they wouldn't be able to, they got nowhere else to put it. And luckily for me, something I did take some video of today, because I had my stilts and because how much the sofa stood out from the wall, I did just about have enough room to be able to lean across the sofas off my stilts and hit the wall. But if I was just working off a ladder, there's no way there's no angle I could have leaned a ladder against the wall because the sofa's being there, to be able to get right up to the edge. And there was covering up as well, so I was going to the edge of that. But the stilts was good for that. If I hadn't had the stilts, I don't know how I could have got around the room, because there was literally a sofa on two walls. There was a couple of there was another box in the bay. That wasn't too bad. But I managed to get it done and get around it. I don't think I took I don't think I took a picture of the finished article, but I did take some video of me kind of showing how I could lean across on the stilts and get the bonding up there, or get the finish up there. And that was pretty good. Oh, and rolled them off with the speed skims, but using the pole, which again, that was good for getting over the top of the furniture, as opposed to trying to do it when you're up there off of anything. But because normally I'll use my speed skim standing on my stilts rather than put a pole on it, because you can adjust the angle of it better. You can feel the pressure when you've got two hands on that thing rather than just holding the pole and pushing it up against the ceiling. But right. JT, you were speaking to a bloke the other day from America. He was saying was that barely any plastering done now? Well, they don't in America, mate, do they? It's most of the houses, in what I've seen in most of the states, they're all timber framed and drywall. It's all taped and joint molding. Do you think there's any risk of that over here? I don't think so, JT, because what was it? They started boarding instead of back in the 80s here, because building sites used to be more, it was all like wet plaster. There was no taping and jointing. Then suddenly, at some point in the 80s, it all the building sites went, oh no, mate, everything's like, we just want carpenters and jointers to do taping and jointing. We're not having the wet trades because it takes longer, and that's a joke. It don't take longer, in my opinion. And what was it? Yeah, and that was back then. And even back during that time, I was going with other guys when I was working for a company, and we were going over stuff that had been taped and jointed, because you could see the joints showing through as bumps or hollows or whatever. And I can't see it somehow. It's a bit like spray plastering as well. This spray plastering's starting to become a bit of a thing. I've only just started to hear about it, but what I've watched of it on videos, I'm not that keen. And it's just it's a great big machine. And again, it depends what kind of work you're doing, and how much. If you're on great big jobs all the time, and ideally if there's a couple of you, you can really bash out some stuff. There's another channel, I can't remember what they're called now. Two guys, they're doing really well. Their channel's growing really fast. But they go like the clappers. and they knock out a ton of work. They seem to be working all the time. I don't know how they get time to edit their videos for their channel, but yeah, no, I don't think it's a problem, mate. I wouldn't let you put you off going self-employed as a plasterer. It's gonna be around for a good while yet, mate. Definitely. But yeah, in the States, they go crazy on their foundations. The amount of work and they put into those, and then they stick a wooden house on top. So as soon as a hurricane comes along, the only thing that's normally left over is the brick fireplace that they built. Oh dear. Jordan, where do you buy your tape from, Eric? Noticed it on a few videos I use on the floor. Oh, the tape that says fragile on it. I do have to explain to my customers. It doesn't mean that the floor, well, it's fragile, isn't it? It doesn't mean that my plastic is fragile. I said that's just the tape I bought. If I can, normally I'd rather buy the clear tape, because if you have any problems with that sticking when you pull it off, it doesn't leave any residue. But if I have any, occasionally, some of that type of tape or any other tape with a picture on, you pull it off and it gets stuck, and yeah, it's a bit of a pain. But I get in B&Q, mate. One of my favourite places. So I am starting to order quite a bit of gear, as you might have seen, from off of Amazon. Don't forget to use my links, boys. When it comes to plastic for the floor, the roll and stroll stuff, the buying the pink scrim fiberglass tape for the joints, 10 of those, 30 odd quid, worked out about £3 something, £3.40, £3.50 a roll, rather than what anywhere else charges. But you have to buy 10, or you can buy more and it costs you less, but yeah, 10's more than I'd want to, this is all I'd want to buy in one go. Yeah, what else am I getting? I've started to buy my PVA, the Everbuild stuff as well, through Amazon, and ordering, I don't know, 6 or 8 at a time. So when they turn up, I've just got a little bit to one side, because normally otherwise I'm popping to B&Q's for most jobs. I used to order a lot of stuff on an account I had with those guys from up north that come down in a big van and can flog you loads of stuff cheaper. But they ring you every month and drive you mad, and you end up with hundreds of pounds worth of stock in you, if you've got a garage to put it in, and spending quite a lot of money on it. And then eventually, obviously, at the end of the month, you've got to pay the bill for that. So I just like buying the stuff as I go, but I'm buying a little bit more now because I can order it, as you say, from Amazon, and get that done, shove it up the garage, and yeah, Bob's your uncle. And yeah, and the PVA works out cheaper as well than B&Q. So I'm still happy to use any kind of cheap PVA. Again, still haven't used blue grit or red grit or any other grit for any jobs. I need to change this background at some point, don't I? Because I find that hard to read compared to normal. We've got over there. Where to buy my tape? Yeah, got that. Diggity. Spray doesn't look any good for domestic work, does it? No, the sprayers, I think, if you're doing domestic jobs, there's too much messing about. The machine's too big. I mean, again, today on this job, because the furniture was still in there, there's no way I could have got a board and a stand in there if I'd wanted to. Because normally when I'm doing the ceiling, I stick my big bucket on a board and stand. Some guys like to use the board and stand in the traditional way and don't pour the stuff out, which is great. But I had no room in there for that at all. And the guy said I could put, luckily his sofas were kind of old leather sofas, and he covered them all over, and he said, look, you can put stuff on the sofas and that. I'm not worried about it because I know you're obviously tight for space. I thought, yeah, it wasn't wrong. So, but I'm pleased it went well, considering I had that stuff to get over. But yeah, the spray plaster, it almost looks like you're just spraying some kind of thick paint on and then rolling it off, which reminds me a bit of the kind of stuff you put over when they are doing drywalling. There's a finish you can spread on over the whole lot afterwards, and it just reminded me of that at the end of the day. But I don't know where they ever got the idea that plaster dry lining was quicker. Because when you fill those joints in with your paper tape and your filler, you can't touch them for like 12 hours, 24 hours. And then you've got to put another coat on top of that. You can't touch that for another 12 hours. You've got to sand it. And if you sand it down and it's not properly dry, it just tears. And I think, well, I could skim a wall in one go while they're doing that taping. And, if it's just a skim on plasterboard, it only takes a day or so to dry. So where's this? We've got to wait for it all to dry. We don't want all this wet trade in the buildings and stuff. So we'll just have dry lining. Stupid idea back then, but I suppose they still seem to do it. But there's still plenty of plastering about, and proper plastering. But yeah, well, domestic series anyway, which is all I do nowadays. So yeah. I have found the Easy Mix, which. Initially, I just used the half time to speed stuff up a bit, especially if I'm doing some bonding. And I thought, well, I don't really want to use the extra time because I can knock up a couple of bags and get it on without having to worry about it. But I used it a little while ago, and all this done has made me get a bit lazy. Because I think I mentioned in that advert as well. You can put on the same amount you normally do, but you only have to work at half the speed. And as I'm getting older, I'm thinking, you know what, that quite suits me. So extra time for me from that viewpoint of, you know what, I'll stick some extra time in that, and I'll just take my time and I'll chill rather than thinking, right, I've got to get these 2 bags on before it starts to pull. Dear. And that's me flipping stuck with buying it forever now, isn't it? Still, it is a good product. Good. Eddie, hello mate. Nice to see you. If there's anyone else watching, if you want to ask any questions, I mean, apart from you can type them up on the screen, or you can ring that number on the bottom there, 07516 214 983. But obviously, if you're doing this on your phone, you're not going to want to come off of it to ring me. But sometimes it is just nice to get someone else's voice on it instead of just me. I mean, there was a guy rang a little while ago now, and that made a bit of a change. And I know there's another guy. Sorry, mate. I'm rubbish with names. That I'll be watching tonight, but he's not sure he want to ring in just yet. So I suppose it can be a bit nerve-wracking, a bit like doing this the first time. I'm starting to get used to it now. But yeah. Right, what we got there, Eddie? When you need a longer bead than 3 meters and need to make a joint, what do you find is the best way to make a clean joint? Well, obviously, when I'm sticking any beads, whether they're stop beads or angle beads, because you say 3 meters is as long as you can get on it. I always cut the once I've got the length, I always cut the a triangle. Take the corners off the bead on both beads that are meeting up. So I can't really demonstrate it with my fingers, can I? Without chopping a bit of them off. So yeah, I cut the corners off of both beads and then bring just the point together. So you haven't got any square edges there and sort of butting up against each other. Just the point. And then obviously you need to get the two nice and level so they haven't got any kind of like bump in it. Which is obvious. Again, if I'm using the glue because I've got a really nice angle up there anyway, the original angle, I don't know, I can squash them on with the glue and they'll butt up lovely. I'll do that. If I'm sticking them on with plaster because the corners aren't that good, then I'll put enough gear on there and tap the bead in with a bit of a straight edge across it to make sure where they join each other, you've got it nice and straight, level, square. Yeah, it's a bit of a twiddle, but that's the only trouble with that. Also, recently I've been trying to get hold of plasterboard stop beads, like the 3 meter ones, opposed to just like the 8 foot jobs. And I don't know, they're really hard to get hold of. I've noticed a lot of places that stock them, especially your B&Q type place. they just get all bent up because they're quite flimsy anyway, aren't they? And often the angle beads will get bent, so those things don't stand a chance in some of that shelving, especially if someone's just like yanking at them. And I try to explain to them that if the plasterboard bead's got any bends in it, mate, it's no good to any plasterer because it's it's knackered. Oh dear. Philip, hi mate. Eric, I was a bricklayer by trade and always loved to do a bit of skimming, but I have not the confidence to do a large area. What do you advise? I suppose what a lot of people suggest, what I can suggest to you, I suppose, mate, is to stick a packet of extra time in it. It gives you about up to an extra hour to sort of like mess about and get it on and do the business with it. Obviously, don't go too crazy. I suppose you've got to do something just slightly bigger each time and see how you get on with it. Like I found if you do use an ad mix to slow stuff down, you do get used to using it, and then you kind of think, oh, I better not try doing this without it in case I can't manage it. Which is, but yeah, that's normally what most people do. If they try and not put something on that's a bit bigger, and use the old stick some easy mix in it, retarder, just to slow it down. Excuse me. Eddie, what's the best glue you use for beads? The no nonsense glue is great. I use when I'm sticking beads, Eddie, I use the mitre glue. The one that comes with it's called mitre glue. It's mostly carpenters use it for sticking mitres together. Funnily enough, and it comes with an accelerator spray. You basically put the glue on the bead. It's like a super glue. Squash the bead into place. The way I do it then is I run the spray up and down it, which more or less sets it instantly. But yeah, you're talking about 5 to 10 seconds for the bead to go off, and you're done, and it's ready to go. Yeah, a lot of the other glues and other ways you can stick them on, they're not that well fixed straight away. You've got to wait for them to like go off a little bit. But so when I'm not sticking them in the plaster, or I'm not screwing the beads on, if it's a plasterboard affair, and to be honest, I don't really hardly ever screw beads on anymore. I'll stick them into bonding, or stick them into finish, or use the mitre glue. Mitre glue is what you're after, and it always comes with an accelerator. It's about for a pot of it and a can of the accelerator spray. It comes to about £12. Well, I think that's for a large one. And it does go a fair distance. Initially, you might think, oh, will it go that far? But it does. It does. I'm quite surprised. It's a bit smelly, but the smell soon kind of dissipates and disappears. Yeah, if you want to stick on beads quickly, and the angle that's there, the original angle's not in an absolute mess, then you can use the glue. Otherwise, mate, stick to sticking them on with a bit of finish or a bit of bonding. Anything else? What do you want to know, people? Well, let's just have a chat. It's got to be plastering based though. Let's a slight change of scenery, shall we? Yeah, some fishes in it as well. Why not? There you go. And that's that job. A few people, that video there, said to me it was nice to see someone doing a video of really horrible bits as opposed to just people whacking on a big flat wall. I thought, yeah, I suppose so. It's a thing that they're a pain to do, as a lot of you guys that are plasterers know, but the doing it and filming it, it's even more of a pain. But I know it's a head camera, so I suppose it's not a big deal. I'm still getting used to this new camera as well, and when I've got it stuck on my head, putting it at the right angle to make sure it's definitely picking up what I'm looking at or what's in front of me, rather than a foot below or a foot above. Dear. Norman. Hello, Norman. Nice to see you, mate. How's it going? Oh, yeah, sponsored by Pepsi. I wish, mate. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? When I say that, they're probably all they would do is just send me free Pepsi. Might just save me from buying it, I suppose. Save me from buying it. Yeah. They don't pay me anything for drinking their Pepsi Cola or Coca Cola on me live stream. Dear. All good, mate. Yeah, nice one. Have you? It's a bit off topic, Norman. But have you been up the gym yet, mate, and started the old calisthenics? Let me know. Busy with his work, says. All going good. Yeah. No, work still seems to be quite busy. I'm not. I don't know. Does anybody know why there's no cement anywhere? I mean, fortunately, I don't hardly ever do any rendering. And the job that I did get, and this is the reason I don't do it, it was booked in for when it's been backing down with rain, so I haven't done it yet. There was no cement. I managed to. About a week ago, they did have some cement back in B&Q. There's quite a bit there, so I just buy 4 bags, which will do me for the little job I've got to do. And when I was back in there yesterday buying plaster, no cement. And yeah, there seems to. I hear lots of weird reasons why there might not be any cement about, but there's none in the country. It was like the Finnish issue that we had before, but there was a kind of a reason that there was no Finnish during the lockdown. But for suddenly out of the blue, for no good reason, for there to be no cement anywhere. If you guys got any idea why, then enlighten me, please. Are you still working on the before photo, Norman, before you hit the gym? Yeah, you got to get a before photo. Make sure you push your belly out a bit as well, and yeah, and don't smile. And once you've got all ripped, mate, you got to shave all your chest hair off, or wax it off. It's the done thing, mate. Because it makes it's no good getting those muscles if they're covered in hair. You know what I mean? Dear. All right. Where were we? Let's have another sip of Pepsi. Yeah. Anyone else watching that's not plasterer, or is a DIYer, or wants to ask any questions about plastering, or how much should plasterers cost? How long should certain jobs take? Do you live anywhere near me so you can come and do my plastering? Because you're obviously quite good at it. Dear. Oh, there's those holes on the wall. That's just when I was sticking the dots on, though, prior to skimming over them. It was nerve-wracking putting plaster over those, because you kind of think, how's that red going to bleed through like a couple of coats of plaster? I mean, a skim, thankfully, is only tight, isn't it? I wouldn't bond over it and then skim it and hope the red dot will still come through. I mean, it might. I don't know, but yeah, I'll let someone else try that first. Or if I do it, I'll do it in my own house rather than the customers. Dear. No one knows nothing about the cement, no. Yeah. Oh, I only just found out today, which is probably why I stuck up a quite boring video of me putting plastic on the floor. That job where there was loads of furniture. Was I bought the same camera that quite a few of the other guys use, and my videos weren't quite as crispy clear as theirs were. But it's dawned on me that they're filming in I don't know how technical any of you guys are when it comes to filming stuff. They're filming at 120 or 240 frames a second, which makes for a very clear picture. Normal frames are, like when you watch a film, 24 frames a second. Most videos are 60 frames a second. But that one I did today, I think, was 240 frames a second. So It's nice and sharp, just a bit boring. But yeah, I might take it down. But yeah, someone might get something out of it. The how easy it is to use roll and stroll. Roll and stroll, the professional's choice. I don't suppose anyone from Ever Build is watching. Yeah, just a free roll and stroll would be nice. That's quite expensive compared to a normal plastic, but yeah, it does because it grips the carpet well. It's quite nice. But I normally only buy that roll and stroll stuff for doing stairs, carpeted stairs and what have you. Then just put normal plastic everywhere else, like I did on that job in this video. Right, how are we doing for time this evening? Let's pop the old glasses on. I did nearly 2 hours last time, which is fine, but I don't know how many people like watching the video afterwards. Not gone. Oh, 1941. Okay. Cool. Okay, we've got loads of time yet, guys. Ask me a question. Ask me anything you like. Come on. Hello, anyone new that's just joined us, welcome to Ask the Plasterer with me, Eric the Plasterer. I'm here to answer all your plastering related questions. Anything about fish as well. But this evening only. Yep. This evening only. Right. Eddie, a booming demand with everyone spending money on their home has led to a high demand and a shortage in cement. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. I mean, I would have thought that would happen if that was going to happen. It'd happen with plaster, like the plaster would go short again. Most render, a lot of rendering jobs now, guys use the silicone based renders as opposed to sand and cement on the outside of buildings, and yeah, internally probably wouldn't use that much gear up. Someone else told me that they reckon there's some additive they put in cement, and whether it's down to Brexit or that great big ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal, I believe ages ago now. They use anything as an excuse, saying that, oh yeah, it was on there, and so we've had issues with it. But I suppose when you think about it, when it comes to cement, it's not just for render, is it? Bricklaying, concrete mixes, you name it, the amount of stuff that's got that in it. I reckon they're probably just building some massive government thing, some new government bunker that no one knows nothing about, and yeah, all the concrete's gone and cement's gone there because they know something we don't know. Dear, but yeah. But have you heard that, Eddie? Then that it's sort of just kind of like word of mouth that I know people are spending money getting jobs done on their houses and stuff. I mean, now though, I think everyone's going out and going to the cinema, and I think the cinema's chock-a-block at the minute, which I understand. You know, if you're a cinema guy, it's nice to be able to go there again. But I think I'd wait till the queues died down and it wasn't sort of like, quick, we can go to the cinema, let's all go and queue up with everybody else and try and get in at something. Garden work, slabbing, etc. Yeah, Eddie, I suppose so. I thought there's always been quite a massive demand for cement, probably more because it goes in so many different mixes for different things that they would have had issues with it running short before, but it just seems a bit odd. Say one of the guys mentioned it last Monday, and when I told him I couldn't find it, he had glee and reminded me that he told me in advance. Module also said he didn't think there was a bit of a bead shortage up where he was, like plaster beads, and so far that hasn't come to fruition. I can't see any reason why there'd be a shortage of plasterboard beads. But then they'd never thought there'd be a shortage in cement either. Yep. Good evening. Anybody new that's watching, if you want to ask any questions, you can You can type them up, or let's go back to this one. Or you can ring this number on the bottom of the screen: 07516 214 983. 07516 214 983. And yeah, get your voice heard, literally. Listen to yourself later on when you watch it back. Oh dear. Yeah, bunker in case we have another COVID wave. yeah. I know. Michael, hi Michael. Yes, it was me who told you about the cement and the shortage in. That's it, South Wales. Yeah, thanks, Michael. We're all right for beads at the minute. I haven't found an issue with that. But the cement kind of came back online, and I got a few bags, and then it just disappeared again. So, it's just a bit weird. Just a bit weird. I'll have to have a good old Google and see what answers come up for why the hell isn't there any cement anywhere. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But hey ho, no cement. The weather's rubbish. What's happening? So soon I'm sure the cement will be back to normal. The sun will be coming out. We'll start getting a proper summer. And yeah, and then hopefully the rest of the lockdown will continue as planned. And unlocking of the lockdown. And yeah, fantastic. Lovely jubbly. Lovely. Yeah, I tried that my new camera on me bonce doing that top video. I was doing that putting a skim on that curved ceiling, and yeah, that was quite good, quite interesting. The way he puts it on, it just amazes me. Oh dear. Right, come on in, guys. Ask away. Anyone new watching this evening? I see the numbers going up and down. People just having a quick look, popping in. Ask a question before you go. Anything you like. Yeah, maybe even if it's not plastering related. Jonathan, that was it, mate. Yeah, only just got home. Yeah, what's your question about the bonding, mate? Yeah. What's your question about the bonding? Well, thanks for tuning in to the live stream, by the way, mate. I really appreciate it. Yeah, have you only just found the channel then, Jonathan? I was told by a plasterer never ever to use bonding. Creates damp. The only people that have ever said to me don't ever use bonding are people that only ever do rendering internally. Normally old boys, I mean I'm old myself, but it's normally people that are kind of like, they don't want to use any of that old muck. No, sand and cement every time. But no, mate, I've used bonding. Bonding's been going on for years, and it doesn't cause damp. If you've got a damp issue, then obviously the bonding can be affected by it. Whereas sand and cement, especially sand and cement with a decent waterproofer in it, will hold back damp. It's what I usually do for customers if they've got a damp issue. I'll put an internal waterproof sand and cement up, and then put a skim over the top of that. But you went mental at me, and I was like, told off. I was told off. Right, hang on, Jonathan. Let me get this right. You was told by a plasterer never ever use bonding because it doesn't create damp. As I say, it doesn't like most plasters, gypsum plasters. They don't, they're not water friendly. Only when you're mixing them up with the water. You went mental at me, and I was like told off. A told off kid. Are you Well, you're not working with this guy, mate, Jonathan. Are you? You're not plastering with him, and he's the kind of like the boss man. And he said, "Well, no, I'm not having any bonding on this job." All right, causes damp. Yeah, bonding goes off quickly, and that's why it's used internally, because sand and cement doesn't. And you need to leave sand and cement. If you go over sand and cement too soon with a finish, when it shrinks and cracks, and then the finish will shrink and crack as well. Bonding can be gone off in 45 minutes, something like that. If you put an accelerator in it, go off even quicker. You're doing like patches and stuff. But yeah, no, most floating and setting is floating with bonding, or it used to be browning as well. But browning's not really a thing used anymore. Mark. Hi, Mark. I've only just found the channel. Cheers, mate. Just starting out and made a bit of a mess in plastering an internal wall. Really patchy, but nothing worse than 1 to 2 millimeters. Can I just PVA plaster over it? Yes, mate. Mark, you can just put a coat of PVA over it. I use, if you've watched any of my videos, I use neat PVA. I work it well in with a roller. I don't water it down, and I let it dry completely before I skim it. If you want to use that technique, that's what I would do. Cover it in a neat coat of PVA, let it go off properly, as I call it. Let it go right off, and then just skim over it again. Yeah, try not to do too big an area. But yeah, when you're starting out, mate, it is it's not an easy job plastering. To get the hang of when you're new to it, as a novice to it, or DIYing for it. But I don't know if you're just doing a little bit, or you're really getting into it. So if you are getting into it properly, whether or not you get yourself a speed skim, which let me know if you do or don't know what they are. But there's plenty about them on the on different videos and on my channel and stuff. No problem, Jonathan. No problem, mate. Nice to have you along. Oh. Hello. You just started, Mark. Yeah. Yeah, it's to make sure you watch my if you haven't watched it already, Plastering School Part 1. If you're literally starting off, that's a really good one to watch regarding the troweling technique, practice plaster that you can knock up and reuse over and over again on the same patch of wall, because you can knock it back off once it's dry. Quite easy. If you haven't watched that, have a watch of it. You can leave any comments, because I get back. I answer all the comments that I get in the moment, because the channel's not that big that I can't do that. So that's not a problem. And you could also email me on erictheplasterer@gmail.com if you're really stuck on anything. But yeah, take a look at the videos, mate, and if there's anything else that you can't find on those, yeah, just drop a comment and I'll get back to you. No worries, mate. No worries at all. Smoothed it, but it didn't bother. I smoothed it, but didn't bother with troweling. Oh no, you definitely got to trowel it, Mark, because otherwise it can look quite good while it's still wet. But if you don't trowel it, once it dries, yeah, it'll look horrible. And then if you painted it, it'd look even worse. So yeah, definitely got a trowel over it. I've got a speed. You have got a speed skim. Cool. Hopefully it's a plastic one, a plastic blade as opposed to a metal blade. Again, on other Master Plasterers, you'll find good reasons for that. Plastic blade helps open the pores of the finish, and you can literally use it as soon as you put the first coat on. If you use a metal blade speed skim too soon, it will draw water to the surface and cause blistering and all sorts of issues with your plaster. I think I skimmed it too quick, kept taking the plaster with it. Yeah, it's just that's more to do, Mark, with your troweling technique, timing. Yeah, and timing is something some guys sort of say, "Oh, we leave something this long and then do the next bit," but it depends on how quick the stuff's drying. If the weather's a bit warmer, if the surface you're putting it on is a little bit more porous, even though he's had a coat of PVA on it. But yeah, as I say, check out the vids, and anything you need to know, mate, drop a comment on the videos, and I'll get back to you. No worries. Yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers for coming along to this. I'm assuming you subscribed, so thanks for that. The more subscribers, the better. He said, right, makes it worth all the hard work of filming and editing and doing this on every other Monday rather than having me dinner. You're not getting from work, but I'll enjoy it later. Fish and chips tonight, I think it is. What a delicacy. Yep, all the way from Iceland. The freezer shop, not the country. What? No, I wouldn't dare waste paint on it. Yeah, plastic speed skin. Yeah, no, plastic speed skin's good. You should be able to. As soon as you've got your first coat on, you should be able to take the plastic speed skim over it straight away. I do, and flatten it all out. You still have some lines in it, but yeah, and then yeah, take it from there. But as I say, yeah, have a look at the videos and get back to me. What ladders would you, Jonathan? Yeah, what ladders would you recommend for reaching higher levels on stairs and landings? From what I'm aware, there are mixed views on best practice for this, in stages and using a stop bead or not. Yeah, stairwells can always be an issue. Some of the smaller ones, when you're trying to do a wall or a ceiling in the stairwell, you can lean across the top banister and reach across to the opposite wall. I found in quite a lot of properties. Obviously, you've got to be careful, but and you can do it that way. You do get occasions where you need somehow to rig up a ladder off the stairs. The main thing is always to make sure that you're safe while you're doing it, and don't do anything ridiculous with the way you balance the ladder on the edge of a step or the wrong way on a step, that it could slip and cause no end of problems for you. The ladder that I've got at the moment is one that basically pulls out as a set of steps, or you can extend it that way, put it up against the if you're looking down the stairs, if you've got a facing wall that comes across and you've got a side wall to do, I'll do the side wall first, which is normally the one that's coming down the stairs, and lean my ladder against the wall that's facing me as I'm looking down the stairs. But then when I'm doing that facing wall, I will tend to do the top half, bring the steps down, do the bottom half. I am sticking the top of the steps into the actual plaster when I'm doing some of the walls in a stairwell like that, so that leaves two little marks. But you can kind of put some padding on your steps, so it doesn't dig kind of little holes in. It still marks the plaster, but not so much that you can't go over it when you're going back over and sorting it out. But again, it's something you need to do a few times and practice. But yeah, when it comes to staircases, again, you can rig up a couple of ladders and put scaffold boards across, but then it's a case of making sure you've got scaffold boards and having to lug them to a job. Yeah, staircases, stairwells can be, I mean, 9 times out of 10, I don't have issues with them, but they can be a pain. You just have to make sure that you don't do anything dangerous when it comes to setting them up. When it comes to putting a stop bead in, I think that's when you put one of the other guys said they put a stop bead and then plaster up to that and then take the stop bead out, so there's a nice kind of edge to do the next bit up to. Yeah, it's a kind of swings and roundabouts thing, something you've got to experiment on, because a lot of the stairwells all vary slightly to how wide they are or how deep some of the walls are. Yeah, you have to, it's a bit of a trial and error thing, to be honest with you, Jonathan, at the end of the day. That's the one. That would be great to see that in your next video. yeah, they're the. I will do something like that. As I say, they're a pain to do, and they're even more of a pain to try and film at the same time. But I will give it a go. A few people have asked me about setting up any kind of rig or scaffolding in a stairwell. So I'll put it on my list. I'll put it on my list of things to do. Yeah, no worries, mate. It's good to have you along. Good to have you along. Oh dear. Right, how are we doing for time? Yeah, we did nearly 2 hours last time, which was probably a little bit too long. I don't mind once I get talking to you guys, and then the time does fly by. Because you're such great company. Put your glasses on now. Right, okay. Yeah, I'll probably do about another half an hour if it's needed. We'll chitty chat. Have a change of scenery again. There you go. Oh yeah, I can hardly read that that writing with a fish behind it. Oh dear. Yeah, remember, guys, like it says on the bottom of the screen, to join us on Discord, Ask the Plasterer community server. The links are in the video descriptions to get onto our community. And I think there's about 22 of us on there in a minute. And we have the odd chat together about stuff, what we're doing or tools we're using. But it could be a lot busier. And of course, it won't be busier until you guys sign up onto it. So give that a go. Give it a go. It's pretty straightforward. You can chat on there as well, but most people just type stuff. Dear, which doesn't surprise me. I finally managed to get on Discord. Oh, well done, mate. So, are you number 22 then? Because there's been 21 people on there for a while now, and then a little while ago now, it went up to 22. So I'm hoping, Diggity, that's you. If it's not, if it's 23 next time I have a quick look, then I'll assume that's you. You should be on it, and as long as you click the little box so you can see all the chat. There's a little tick mark thing, and hopefully you've done all that. What are you on there as, Diggity? What's your name on the Discord site? Let me know. Oh, pardon me. Mark Discord, but we'll find out. If you go to the link, Mark, Discord, the picture on this screen you're looking at now, where it says "Join Us Community," it's a server. It's like a forum, but you can chat on there live. You can type stuff on there. You can go on there any time of the day or night. There's text talk. There's tool talk, where you can go. You can talk about tools. Talk about plastering in general. There are also channels on there where you don't have to ring into it or anything. You can literally just click on, and you can talk to people verbally. You can see each other on video if you want to do that. You don't have to do it. And it's just somewhere we can, rather than waiting for Ask the Plasterer to come around, or just putting comments on the videos of the channel, you can go onto the Discord site and type stuff on there. And obviously, I always check it, so if a message pings up, I'll pop on there and have a look. So that's another good place to leave any questions that you might have, as well as just chatting in general. And you can put pictures of your work up on there. You can put videos up on there if you want to. I think that's a bit more difficult, but it can't be that hard. So as I say, there's links. There should be links in most of my video descriptions. It says on there Discord link. So click on that and then follow the instructions. Once you get on the site, you've got to click this little box that's got a number next to it. You just got to put a tick in it, and then that makes you a member. Because until you're a member, you can't see any of the chat that anybody's typed up previously. And the only reason for that is to stop robots filling up your site with just junk, basically, and trying to flog stuff. So that's cool. I don't even know what. Yeah, okay. That's you sorted, Mark. Yeah, I expect to see you on there tonight or tomorrow. Diggity die, yeah, mate. Might be, mate. Yeah, no worries, Mark. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I did that and can see all the chat. Good. Same, mate. Diggity T or Diggity die on there. Okay, cool. I'll double check that when I come off of it. See who's signed up. It'll be all good stuff. Right. Right. Okay, guys. Well, we've got another about 17 people on here at the minute. Anyone new out there watching that wants to ask a question, or you can say you can ring in as well on the where has it gone? On this number at the bottom, 07516 214 983. Or you can just type a question up. It doesn't matter what it is. Go for it. Where's the best place to drop you a private message? You could probably on Discord. Discord's probably your best bet for that. Actually, it'd be my preferred place to do private messages on the Discord. Because in that way, people that I've mentioned it to before will sign up to it. Hello. Anybody new coming on? Hello. Type a message. What do you want to know? Anything about plastering? I'm your man. I'll tell you can ask me. And if I don't know, one of the other guys on here will do. If you're a complete novice, if you're a customer, if you're a DIYer, if you're a time-served fantastic plasterer, welcome to the chat and have a chat, have a type, have a ring in. Why not? That's the whole reason for me being here. It's my reason for being, my raison d'etre. That is the only French I know. Chat amongst yourselves. Is there anything else? Diggity. What's your average hours worked per day as a domestic plasterer? I generally, I start at 8 o'clock and in an ideal world finish at 4. I don't tend to, because I like to get all my jobs to like fixed price jobs, and I like to get them kind of bashed out. So I take lunch with me to eat, but I don't, I might stop and have a quick coffee and sandwich, but I don't properly sit down and take half an hour or an hour out for lunch. I did when I was working for companies, because you make the most of your lunch break if you're working for a company or another builder. But when I'm doing domestics, I have a bit of lunch, but more or less eating that while I work. So start at 8, finish at 4. Saying that, I'll often finish at 5. And on some jobs 6 if it's a big job and I want to get it bashed out in a day. If it's a couple of day job, then I tend to evenly split it out. I always allow, for a lot of my jobs, I always allow a bit extra, an extra day, so if I do come unstuck with anything, I can I haven't got to like push everybody else back in the queue a day or half a day, whatever. So, yeah, and then if I get ahead of myself, then I'll just have a day off, which is nice, before the next job kicks in. But yeah, 8 till 4 is ideal, really, especially in the summer, because midsummer it still feels like you've got a whole day left once you get home, as opposed to having a shower in the winter at 5, 6 o'clock and putting your gym jams on because it feels like bedtime. Instead, you go out in the garden, have a barbie, or go to a pub, or just like the good old days. Yay! I'm going out to a pub with a mate of mine next week. I'm looking forward to that. And actually sitting indoors and having a nice pint and some crisps and possibly a pork pie. And a bar of chocolate. It's a good pub. Oh dear. Jonathan, I've missed anything, have I? No. Yeah. Okay. When would you choose to use hardwall? If I'm honest with you, Jonathan, I hardly ever use hardwall. And since watching your streams, I now use neat PVA, and it's great. I know, mate. That's good. That's good. Top man, Jonathan. Top man. Such a good help. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try and be as helpful as possible. I mean, there's lots of plastering channels out there, and most of the guys subscribe to. Well, I do. Obviously, I subscribe to other plasterers' channels as well. Once there's guys that I know quite well, this is quite nice, and another times just to be nosy. And other times to think, oh blimey, their channel's growing well. Well, at least mine is growing. It could be quicker, but apparently growing YouTube channels does take a while, because you want to get. I mean, I do the live streams like this because it's more community based. And if you just do like a lot of people do videos, that's good and great, and you can still build a great channel. But it's nice to have a bit of camaraderie. Is that the right word? And be able to get to know your subscribers better at the end of the day. And it is nice to, whether it's on here or on the Discord, the community forum thing we've got there. It's just nice to get to know people and just have a chat. It's just nice. Hi mate, I messaged you a while ago telling you I was going to tackle my stairs and landing from a ladder. All right, we did it safe, mate, and scaffold boards. You probably don't remember, but no, I think that rings a bell. I'm pleased to say I did it, and it looks great. Well done. Top man. I don't know what to call you because you're D4Lay 70. 76. Oh man, I'm getting old. Can't see a flipping thing. Yeah. Okay, no, cool, mate. I'm pleased it went well. Yeah, was it you also asking? How can you rig some kind of scaffold up in the stairwell a little while back, or quite a long while back? Because it is, as we just said a bit earlier. I don't know how long you've been on. Is a pain to do some stairwells, and you just got to be careful. But you obviously were, and it's turned out great, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So I'm very pleased for you. Well done. Nice one. Actually, while I'm chatting with you about your staircase looking great, get onto the go to the link in the descriptions of my videos for the Discord server, this community forum we've got here. There's about 22 of us on there at the minute, which is nice, but it could be more busy for when we want to have a chat with each other. So I'm getting as many people as I can from the channel that subscribe to go on there, because you can, rather than just waiting for this to come around, you can, as I say, you can talk to each other on there. And generally when messages ping up on there, I get them. And being the kind of guy I am, I'll have a look and see who's messaged and what they want to know, or what they're chatting about, if it's a couple of other guys that I know chatting with each other. Not forgetting old Stuart's Facebook group, Trowel Talk. That's going from strength to strength. I think it's got at least a couple of thousand people signed up to that Facebook group. It's good. Again, Stuart puts a lot of content on there, you need to go and have a look at it to see. I couldn't describe half the stuff he puts up and what it's for, and it's all good stuff. And that's why I plug his Facebook group, and mostly because he's a lovely bloke and a great plasterer, obviously. A bit like myself. Oh dear. Right, anyone else out there want to ask me any questions before I consider going and having my dinner? Fish. Right, how long have we been going? I've got to be careful not to overdo it. As I said, we did this for nearly 2 hours last week, which is great while we're doing it live. But the video goes up afterwards, and I think people just see it's 2 hours. They go, I ain't even got to bother clicking on there. Oh dear. Wondering if I can. Bear with me a second. Oh, pardon me. Sorry, diggity dar. Yeah. Do you get many? Oh, hang on. Do I get many cancellations? Work-wise, no, not really. The only time I got cancellation was last March, which is a job I just recently did a video on up for the sort of part 1, 2, and 3. That job was meant to be done, last year. But it's quite not an elderly couple. Well, they're in their 70s, I would imagine. And as soon as the lockdown kicked in, they obviously rang up and said, don't really want you coming round, and potentially giving us COVID. So, which it was understandable. But that's a job that I've done now. But that, apart from that, and a couple of others of at that time that rang me up and said, obviously, we're gonna put it off until whenever. Didn't realise it'd be a year later. Generally people don't cancel me. I mean, it's they should, if someone does cancel you, they should be giving you a decent bit of notice. Not there was one a little while ago that peeved me a little bit because they literally rang me the night before. Hey. Hello.
Is that Eric the Plasterer?
Yes, Eric the Plasterer. Who's calling?
Have you finished your podcast?
No, still on, mate. Still on. So you'll be on there as well if you want to watch it again later and listen to yourself.
No, just quick 5 minutes because I know you started at 7. Just got in.
Yeah, no, it generally goes on for about an hour and a half. Last time it went on for about 2 hours, which is a bit too long. But you're good to go, mate. Yeah,
no, quick. What I want to ask you, when you do your second coat.
Yeah, second coat, yeah.
Yeah, and when you go to your third coat, you do the wet shine, don't you?
Yeah, put the first coat on. I roll that off with my old plastic speed skim.
You do your second.
They'll do the second coat, and I normally mix up enough gear that I water down what's left of my first coat to use for my second coat.
Okay.
I don't mix up a fresh batch of stuff. I water down what I've got left.
And how do you find doing that? Does it go? How does it turn out?
When you do that, obviously it does.
You water it down.
Yeah, it does. It does go off quicker because it's already starting to set, and you're just making it a bit thinner. But the reason I do it is because ideally then the whole set goes off at the same time. Whereas if you're putting on a new fresh set on top of the old one, you can kind of like add an half hour onto doing the set. So that's a bit quicker in that respect. So they'll put I water that down, I'll put my second coat on, and then I more or less leave that to pick up, and then I will wet that and then use the that's the first time I will use a metal blade speed skim on it.
Okay, so how many times do you do a wet trowel then? You do it twice or once?
I do the wet trowel with the metal speed skim once. I'm going to give the thing a good spray with my sprayer, so there's like plenty of water if it's the ceiling hanging up there or on the wall. And I'll basically run the metal bladed speed skim. I've got a 900mm one. All over it, up, down, left, right, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, I will go over it still with water. I might leave it a minute or so with a flexi trowel.
Okay.
Do you use a flexible trowel?
If I use a flexible trowel?
Yeah, or do you just use a...
No, I have. Recently, I've been using, just getting used to it, because obviously I started out using a Marshalltown.
Yeah, I mean, you should use a Marshalltown. I mean, that's the kind of industry standard for laying stuff on. And they've been around for donkey's years. And they're a good trowel. I mean, there are lots of other trowels you can buy now, but the flexible ones you definitely only want to use when you're troweling up.
Okay. How do you find? I'm going to make you go. How do you find using the plastic trowel? Is that any good, mate?
What, a plastic like a just a normal size trowel?
Yeah, some people use that like when they're finishing like the last troweling out.
Yeah, I think that the only good thing about them is they're a bit like using the plastic bladed speed skim is rather than drawing the water to the surface, they will help kind of like you'll get less if you've got an issue where you might get a bit of blistering. Then going over it with a plastic trowel is less likely to pull the blisters up to the surface. Whereas if you go over it with a metal trowel and there's a bit of a blister there, it will just make the blister pop out a bit more. So they're good from that viewpoint, but. I don't tend to bother with a plastic small trowel because just because the technique I've got used to. So I'm laying on the first coat, going over that with the plastic speed skim, then I'm whacking on the second coat, and then once that picks up enough that I need to put water on it, that's when I'll spray it and use the metal blade speed skim, and then still using water, I'll use my my flexible trowel to get that really nice finish at the end.
I tell you, I've been following you for about the last could be 3-4 weeks now.
What has it definitely been like you've been watching the live thing? Because obviously when it's live, I'm here, but the video for this live stream goes out, and people can think that it's actually live when it's not, so they try ringing and there's no answer because it's not live. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm saying in general, I've been watching your videos. You've been doing.
Cool. Are they all right?
I tell you what, it's like as funny as it sounds, man. I feel like I'm working here because you're teaching me a couple of tricks that I didn't even know, mate. You know what I mean? You've
been plastering a long time, or?
No, I've only been doing it for about 5-6 years, but not like on a regular basis. I'm more like a part time at the moment. Gotcha.
And
I tell you what, I just love the trade, man. I do like molly. I'm like a molly trader.
Right. Okay.
But I prefer because I've got my qualification sitting guilty in it.
All right. That's more than I've got, man.
Yeah, no, I just love the plastering, man. It's, you know what, like, you work for yourself and things like that. I'm not working for myself at the moment, but like, when I watch your videos, you inspire me, mate.
Oh, cool. No, I'm pleased to hear it.
I said I have to, because I was just on the phone to my daughter. I said I have to go now because I need to ring someone before you sign off.
All right. Yeah, top man.
I'm so glad that I am actually speaking to you live, mate.
Yeah, no, it's nice, mate. It's nice because not a lot of people ring in because normally they're on their phone anyway, typing messages into the live stream.
Yeah, I
you know,
like to actually talk, interact live stuff because it's a nice feeling, man.
Yeah,
because you've been in it for years. I called you. You're like a veteran. You know what I mean? So I can learn a couple of things from you, mate.
Hopefully, man. That's the plan.
No, definitely. Any problems? I mean, I know I don't know you personally, but any problems again, I'm going to just give you. My name's Rodney, anyway.
Oh, nice to see you, Rodney. Are you subscribed up to the channel?
Pardon?
If you subscribe to the channel?
I'm going to do that. That's the only thing I haven't done yet.
Oh, please do, mate. Please do.
No, definitely. But I appreciate your shows, mate, because it's like, as I said, I feel like I'm an apprentice working with you, mate. You know what I mean?
No, that's cool, mate. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah?
Thanks, that's cool. Yeah, as long as it's doing someone some good out there, that's all that matters.
No, definitely, mate. You know what I mean? As I said, things have changed now where before you could go to work somewhere, like you're doing these things. I can pick up a couple of tricks and just learn it, mate.
Yeah, no, nice one. Let's say also, apart
you're doing a good job, mate, and I'm going to keep in contact with you.
Cheers, mate. No, I appreciate it. As I say, apart from subscribing to the channel, we've got hang on, let me bring it up on the screen so you can, if you can't see it now, you can see it later.
Okay.
This community, it's like a forum thing I got here. It's a Discord server. There's links in. It should be in all my videos, and it says Discord server, and it's a link to Ask the Plasterer site where we can ask each other questions, like not just on a Monday night like this, but and it's live on there as well. When you type on there, it comes up straight away. And if I see any messages on there,
I just have to subscribe to that, then I can go to
it. That one. If you click on a link, it is you do have to if it's on your phone, you do have to download a little app that goes with it. But but it's a live thing, and then I generally see messages come up on there. If they ping on my phone, then I'll go onto the site. And if you're on there, you think, I'll type a message on there, and if Eric's not busy, he'll probably answer me. So that's a good place to go to be able to ask me something. If this isn't on, because this Ask the Plasterer is every other Monday.
This live chat you do now, when's it going to be on?
The next one will be 2 weeks' time on a Monday, 7 o'clock.
2 weeks' time. Okay.
Yeah, but they normally go on for about an hour and a half, something like that.
Is it a basis every 2 weeks then? That's what you're saying, yeah?
Every 2 weeks, yeah. It started off kind of random, and then I thought if it's a fixed date, then people remember when it is, so they can not miss it. Because quite a few guys go, I missed it, and I go, it's on a Monday. Every other Monday it's 7 o'clock. How can you miss it?
yeah. No, definitely. But seriously, I really appreciate your shows, man.
No, thanks, man. I appreciate you ringing in.
There's a couple I'm going to go back and. Because I'm watching the one where you're doing a rendering wall where there was damp in the house.
Okay, go man.
Where the blind, I was really concentrating, especially around you done around the socket as well.
I know the one you mean. Yeah, I know the one you mean.
I like the ones, man.
Cool, good stuff, mate. Anyway, good stuff.
I'm gonna let you go, but Susan, I'm gonna keep in contact with you, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. No, thanks for ringing in. That's really appreciate it.
You're like a veteran, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no worries. Well, yeah, mate. You're 36 years at it now.
Yeah,
which
man.
is like too long, man.
Keep up the good work, Larry.
Thanks, mate. I will do. Thanks for
you're South London. I mean, I'm not in South London anymore, but I'm originally from Clapham.
Oh, cool. Yeah. It's only up the road.
Originally, so but I'm down east now, so East London.
Oh, right. Okay. So, yeah, no, fair dues. It's not as nice as East London, mate.
Definitely. I'll keep in contact, Eric.
Okay, thanks, mate.
You take care, mate.
Yeah, and you. Thanks for ringing again, mate. Yeah, appreciate it.
Problem. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, there you go, guys. Not just my voice you had to listen to tonight. Right, how are we doing for time? Right, okay, guys. I think I'm probably going to call it a night and go and have my dinner. Yeah, as usual. If you want to ask me anything else, drop me an email or do it via the community. Actually, that's the ideal for me, is to do it via the Discord community server. You know what to do. Okay, the descriptions for it. Yeah, the link for it is in the descriptions. Discord community server. Want to contact me and it's not a Monday night live job, do it on there. That'd be cool. And hang on. Steve, before I go, do you feel sponge floating would be faster than flattening second coat, or too much effort there? I speed skin the second coat after a sponge. Yeah, I don't tend to do any sponging, Steve, at the end of the day, only because I've never really liked it. Nothing wrong with sponging. If you like sponging and you get on well with it, it's all good stuff. But so yeah, I wouldn't know if it was faster. I just don't like, once my wall's starting to look nice, I just don't like rubbing it up with a sponge and putting that really old pattern in it. I know it like brings the fat up and it helps like getting it all nice and lovely smooth. But yeah, I just personally, I just think it takes more time. I mean, it might not. It depends what your technique is and what you do and how you do it and how you time it. But yeah, I'm not a sponge fan at the end of the day. Right, just make sure I haven't missed anyone else's questions before I call it a night. Right, cheers, guys. Appreciate you all coming along as usual, and for anyone new that's along tonight, thanks for that. Thanks for coming. Ask the Plasterer is on again, the live stream on not next Monday, the Monday after at 7 o'clock. It's also, this one will be obviously coming out afterwards as a video on YouTube, and also I turn it into a podcast, and it's available or will be available wherever you get your podcasts, so you can listen to all this chat and jibber jab about plastering while you're at work or wherever that may be. Preferably if it's plastering, then great. Stick your headphones in, go on to Spotify or something, and to search for that, again, that's called Ask the Plasterer on wherever you get your podcasts. But I know for sure it's definitely on Spotify, which is one of the main places people go to get their podcasts. And no worries, Steve. Cheers, mate. Appreciate you coming along. Hopefully see you again. Don't forget to subscribe, Steve, if you haven't already. Cheers, mate. And all I've got to do now is find the, as I do every week, try and find the stop recording, stop streaming button. Let's go a bit of that. And then, right, here we go, guys. Again, thanks for coming along, and I look forward to speaking to you as ever or wherever on the comments, on the vids, on this in a couple of weeks' time, or on the old Discord server. Let's see. Right, this is it. I'm going now. Have a good evening, people, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.